Good morning. Happy Monday morning. It is, I know it's before 8 a.m. I do know that. Slept in. That's great. And sleeping in for me is sleeping past 6 a.m. But I did. And I'm off to a slow start this morning, which is good. I'm doing that on purpose. Got a lot going on in my head with work. I got to do some traveling around for work this week. Not looking forward to that because I really like just being at home. I'm a major homebody. But coming out to give some garden updates really quick because I have actually been resting from garden work. So I haven't done a whole lot. But I got some updates and they're pretty cool. So this week we're not supposed to get scorching hot weather. I think we're supposed to get 190-degree day, which is great. We're getting like a real spring here in sunny AZ. Today is only supposed to get up to like 78, 79. It's about 54 degrees right now, but it feels great. Great. So I got a few updates that I want to share. And I'm coming to the realization I'm probably going to need to like swap my routine around just a little bit, just because of how the plants are behaving and reacting to things. So I'm in the greenhouse right now. The fans are not on. They don't really need to be on just yet, but I am noticing, I'm going to turn the camera around here. I am noticing that the sun is starting to hit over the top of the greenhouse earlier than it was before. Before, it wouldn't hit over here towards the top of the greenhouse until about 9 a.m. and now it's happening earlier. So as I said, it's not even 8 a.m. yet. Actually, it's 7:53 and we got about half of that. So I'm wondering if in about the next 7 or 8 minutes whether the actual sun will touch the solar panel there and get everything all, get the fan blowing. So, like I said, a couple updates. I haven't really been out here, but today I am feeling some anxiety. I have been trying to nail down where it's coming from. I'm behind on a few work items, so I know that is part of it. But I'm also behind on a few personal items, and so I'm just feeling, just a little anxious. I am going to try to get off some of that nervous energy today by coming out and sowing the echinacea. Only one Love in the Mist made it through, and that's the farthest I've been able to get it. And then I still have to do something with this milkweed. I got this one wildflower seedling that actually did something. Nothing else really did anything. I'm not going to disturb my Molohia and my amaranth too soon. Now, this just caught my attention. It's really hard. Some of them are not doing too good, but I still got a few making it, so I think that this tray was not getting enough water. Yeah. But oh well. I mean, we got a few here. Hopefully they make it through and get their first leaves. Last year I just did so good with the Egyptian spinach and the amaranth. I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing wrong here, but I'm also not babysitting it. I've noticed that in the last couple of days that my tendency to babysit is gone down quite a bit. I'm actually getting a little lazy, which is not the worst thing in the world, but not the best thing in the world either. I am gonna get the okra seedlings out, and within the last couple of days another okra seedling has germinated. And again, this is from my wild watering But I can tell right here, like, that is an okra seed. I watered too much. Clearly watered all the soil that was in it out, and nothing made it. So again, the plan was to put the Egyptian spinach and those two so I can have some shade on this west side. And I'm not 100% sure if that's still going to be possible. But before we switch out to outside of the garden updates, inside of the garden updates, this bush bean plant is finally giving me blossoms. So it's got 2 blossoms. So this will be the first time that it's actually giving me something. This one has slowed down a little bit, and I still haven't done my reading on caring for bean plants. I should do that because not all of them are looking healthy, especially the ones outside. That chard has just bounced back quite a bit. So I'm gonna wait until this leaf gets a little bit bigger, and then I'll come and sniff up these bottom ones. I just want to get as much off the ground as I possibly can. My thyme is still doing good. I've not come out to harvest any scallions out here yet. I did harvest some scallions in the bed outside of the greenhouse and made barbecue sauce for sweet potatoes the other day, and it was really good. The cherry tomato plants are starting to get bigger, so even the ones outside, I'm probably gonna thin them here soon so they are not competing. That is the irrigation turning on, so yay. But they're getting big and good. The lemon cucumbers are still doing good. Looking like this one is starting to get a second set of leaves, so I'll probably come out here and thin soon because that's 2 seedlings. One right there and one right here. And Nasturtium and bush beans over here are getting crazy. Very crazy. Which I had a feeling that was going to happen, so I'm going to have to do something about it here soon. And what exactly, I don't know. I kind of like the fact that it's covering the soil on the bed. That part makes me happy, because then that means if I have something that's covering, then when it gets really hot outside, because the soil is not exposed to the sun, it will retain water a bit more. I'm happy about that. What I'm not content about is how the Nasturtium has just begun to just take over. And now I can see that these beets, they're starting to get overtaken. So these are my golden boy. Like, even look, this one back here, that bean plant. So that is a beet, and look, the bean plant just does this. So I don't want it to take up all the sun. I also don't want the bugs to start feeling like that is a hiding spot. So gonna have to do something. So you definitely want to try to do things to get your soil covered. Last week or so, I've been going back to just kind of watching my documentaries and doing reading on regenerative agricultural practices, which we can adopt in our gardens. We have been trained and conditioned that you till it, you expose the soil, and you have all these perfect lines. And really, if we think about how God really designed nature, that's just not how it's supposed to look or work. And as you notice here, even with just this little bit, things thrive a lot more. Like, I will have to say that this year so far has been my most successful year in terms of gardening. We are literally eating something out of the garden almost every other day. And we didn't have that the first couple of years. And I attribute it to because I've changed some things in practice. And so do some reading on regenerative agriculture, permaculture. And I think I was mentioning how there was one gardener that I've been watching. She practices intensive gardening. And so this habit that I'm adopting this year came from watching her. When I first started gardening, people would tell me that you're planting too many things too close together. It's not working, but it was actually working. And I started to watch her, and I realized that this is a thing that we can actually adopt. And so, like for example, we're getting more beans from the bush beans, but I'm definitely going to have to do something over here. It's not necessarily the bush beans that I'm worried about. It's this nasturtium, because they get ridiculous. So I have to find a way to tell this plant to go that way, because it's already doing it. Which this was kind of what I wanted for it to come, and so it's doing it already to an extent. But I notice it acts like it wants to go up, like it wants to climb. I don't think this was my trailing one. No, my trailing ones were different. I'm pretty sure that wasn't the trailing one, because that wouldn't have made sense for me to do that. I have two different varieties. Well, three different varieties of nasturtium in there, but one of them is trailing. And trailing literally means like it vines up. So if I wanted it to climb up that trellis, it would. Which I'll probably do in the winter, because I just love the way they look. But as I said on a previous video, I've been waiting and letting the flowers dry out, because I want to get seeds to make some capers. So far, nothing yet. Something dropped off here and here. So far, nothing yet. But hopefully in the next couple of days, I can give a video to show some things. Alright, so that is the update. You should see here, the beets are looking happy and healthy. My chamomile is still coming up. The onions are starting to look a lot better. So this is inside of the greenhouse. Like I said, it's about 54 degrees outside, probably 56, 57 by now, because the temperature climbs very quickly here in the morning. And we are situated at, looks like at about 66 degrees. But it feels cool in here still. I mean, you can definitely tell the difference in the warmth. But it's not hot and it's not muggy in here. So for about a week now, the greenhouse has just been left open. These were marigold seeds that these are marigolds that I started from seed. That's a better way of saying that. A couple months ago. So I like how they're getting tall. I gonna have to go do some research, but I'm pretty sure that is not a ladybug. I'm pretty sure that that is one of those beetles. Yeah, I think that's one of those beetles. I haven't been seeing a lot of them, but I'm seeing them. So hopefully that doesn't become a problem. And notice how I'm calm. Because if we go kill off all the pests We don't let things work itself out naturally. So that is basil started from seed. I mean, I'm curious. I'll come back out and look for him. And right now, I'm literally only seeing one of those, maybe a week. So I'm not stressed about it. Again, my watching of documentaries on regenerative agriculture practices is making me a lot calmer about the bugs now. He seems to be on the beets. See him? He's on the beet leaves, and that is where I've seen aphids and those little small bugs. I just don't think that that's a ladybug. I need to get better at recognizing what that is, but I'm pretty sure that's one of those little wretched beetles. All right, so a few updates outside. All right, so little research, and that is definitely a lady beetle. Not necessarily a foe, but I don't want more. I remember these from Michigan. They come in large numbers, and I don't want them, so that is definitely a lady beetle. All right, so outside updates. Speaking of bugs, that is a beneficial. I have to go back and do some more research on what the name is, but they look like little greenish flies, but they are harmless. And they eat very small bugs such as mites on your plants. So I've been seeing those. We got a chance to eat our first harvest of parsley yesterday. I made some smashed potatoes. So basically I will roast potatoes and sweet potatoes in the oven, and when they're done I'll let them cool, and then I'll smash them down flat and sear them in the pan with some herbs and some garlic and onions and peppers. And we had them with some garlic from the garden, not last year's garden, well yeah, last year's garden. I still had some left over and still got a few cloves, some potatoes, the last of them that I harvested, and then some parsley. And my husband noticed the difference. He asked, what is the green stuff on there? And I said, that's parsley from outside, and he said it's good. He described it as having a herby lemon flavor, kind of citrusy, so he enjoyed it. The temparis that were sold are officially sprouted. The okra are doing okay. I see some nibbling on this one, so I probably should check under the leaves, see what's happening. Temparis here that was sold next to that okra is doing good. So notice the difference in the amount of sun. This okra plant, it's a little after 8. It's getting sun. That one is getting shaded, so it's not as big. They were sowed in here at the exact same time. They germinated at the same time as well. The marigold seedlings that I started in the trays are getting bigger. These are the ones that I purchased and I transplanted, so I need to deadhead so that they keep flowering. The clover's doing okay. Probably should plant more. That's cover crop. And they're nitrogen fixers. Let's see. Not a whole lot to update on this bed besides the snapdragons are still doing good. That is new snapdragon growth from the base. So I guess that is new. This is new growth from the base of the plant. That's good. So yeah, just time to do some deadheading. So when your marigolds start to look spent like that, just come snip the flowers off the top so that they can keep going. All right. Sunflowers are getting bigger. I'll probably need to come put some more soil here and around them just to keep the roots from being too exposed. Yeah. Put some more soil around them, kind of earth up a little bit. Because this one and this one, you can tell it's just kind of trying to push. The roots are getting out to where they need to get to. The hollyhocks, they're getting there slowly but surely. Nothing new here to really report. Yeah. And they get tall, so I'm eager to see how they do. This is the Mexican sunflower. And it is doing good in full sun, but I just have to make sure that I give this cup water and fill it up at least twice a day. It does not like to get dry. So this makes me happy because it looks like it's getting a new set of leaves. So once it gets a little bit bigger, I'll transplant it into something bigger because that little small seedling is expected to become a 5 to 6 foot bush. Because I like torturing myself and doing crazy things. This rosemary is still doing good. And as suspected, the sun is just really kind of baked off those nasturtiums, but these are getting pretty big. The stem on this one is pretty strong. These are zinnias. Lots of seeds packed in one spot. And this is the okra seedling that I transplanted. So, some leaf miners. So again, leaf miners is basically some bug has decided to come and lay its eggs, and the larvae has made the inside of the leaf home. So you'll start to see those little squiggly lines. This is pretty compacted, so I'll probably need to come and get like one little hand rake and kind of rake around a little bit. Not too much though, because I got carrots all around the edge. So again, this is an experiment. Remember, I could not find anything to say you should not grow carrots with okra, even though I found something that said you should not grow parsnips with okra. And me being me, I'm like, I'm gonna try it, see what happens. And I also think too, I've been doing reading, you know, a lot of times we want to try to start early. And I'm learning that starting early is not good. I did do some reading on it, saying starting early actually does not benefit the plant too much. You start at the right time. So these okra seedlings, again, this is experimentation. What works well, what does not work well, which is also a good part of becoming a gardener. You gotta try some things. These are okra seedlings that got started in the house during the winter. They came out in December. Their stems are pretty strong, but they're not as growing. They didn't grow as fast, so they're not dying. I'm wondering if the planting of carrots with them, the fact that I bought them out early, is a part of the problem. But they're still trying to make it. This is a a cow pea or black eyed pea. So seeds here. That is Tempari. So I suspect probably in another month or two I'll be able to harvest these carrots, and then we'll see what happens. And now I just got to figure out what I'm going to put there. So I did the same thing in this pot. Remember, this big old pot was like right here in front of the door, but I had to move it to get the geothermal tubing inside of the greenhouse. So right now I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to keep the door stabilized because it gets pretty windy. And right now the only thing keeping that door stabilized is the cinder block and the plant on top. Same thing here with this pot. This pot is the exact same thing. Some alyssum that I started from seed, some carrots, some okra. This was one seedling that came out in December, and then I had another one that went there, but it died. So I dropped another seed in there and it germinated. So right now the okra in these pots are moving slower. So that's me learning. Next year, no carrots, and no starting early. But what I do plan to do if these plants get to full maturity is I plan to harvest the seeds from some pods. Why? Because then I can take these seeds in and they become the seeds that I've started, and they are seeds that come from a plant that has been acclimated to all conditions. So that was also one of my points. Like if they make it, I can harvest the seeds from a pod, keep them indoors, and then I know that these seeds came from plants that have been through cold and extreme hot. So hopefully they get to where they need to get to. This is a good sign that they will. Little teeny tiny okra pods. Nothing's gonna come of them. It's just exciting to see them to go through their cycle. Alright, so me and squash are still working out our relationship. I don't do well with squash. I start out good, and then somewhere along the way I make them sick. They get sick. They're just very finicky plants, but they're making it. I did come out and prune from the bottom edges. Again, I need to do some studying on beans. These bean plants, these are bush bean plants. They look terrible, but my point was not to grow beans. My point was to put nitrogen in the soil. I think also too they're not doing so good because they're right at the edge of the grow bag. See, I can only get my finger in between there. And again, my wild watering washed the seeds over to the edge, but I didn't pluck them out and move them. So we'll go there. All right. So this tomato plant continues to get big, and yay. Oh my goodness, it's so exciting. I gotta be able to get in there. Bear with me. Bear with me. You see that? It's my first baby tomato. Yay. Just because y'all need to see that on my face. Okay. It's my first one. Oh my goodness, so exciting. It's so exciting. I'm like smiling ear to ear. It's my very first one. I knew something was coming, and I can even look now here over to the edge. I see more. So there, right here. Let me get in here. Oh. I know that's terrible. That little shimmy jam that I got in there, but I have tomatoes coming. Oh. Garden life is good. It is so good. It's so good. I'm so excited. Okay, stay focused. Lemon cucumbers, they're doing pretty good. As I said, the cherry tomatoes are starting to get tall, so I feel confident that I can thin soon. These Armenian cucumbers, seedlings. They continue to get nibbled on, but they're trying to press through, so we'll see. As you see, my squash continue to try to blossom. Those Alpha B8 cucumber seedlings are still trying to do their thing. I can come harvest some more pea pods. I've been harvesting every day. I mean, down even where I'm getting pods at the bottom of the plant. So that is good. Good morning from the airplanes. My first zinnia blossom is happening, and more coming soon. Just so happy. Yeah, that breath, that is the breath of peace. Oregano is doing good. I'm enjoying the process of watching ginger do their thing. This one is doing its thing. I'm gonna come out again today and harvest some more lettuce because my first meal of the day will be a salad. Look how big that dill is getting. My last year with dill, they got like big, like almost tree-like. The ladybugs love to come and sit in it. The birds would come perch in it, which was so cool because birds take care of bugs. And they kind of eat some of the seeds off too. That pea plant that I thought was gonna die, now I just come out and I come with the watering pot and I give water along the edges, and it's starting to come back. My rosemary and thyme from transplant, primarily more for pest deterrence, is doing good. The arugula is starting to come. Honestly, my squash don't look that healthy, but they look better now that I've pruned. And I didn't even do a whole lot. I think I got 1 or 2 leaves. And my first cantaloupe seedling from seed, direct sow outside, has germinated. That's the one from transplant, so we'll see what happens. Alyssum and marigold, and look, it's just time. So I'm noticing about once a week, I should just come out, come snip and deadhead. All right, folks. So I came out yesterday and hand pollinated a watermelon flower, a female. This male and this female. Males. The stem just below the blossom is thin. With females, the stem is thicker and it has this little bulb on it. So it has turned downward, which is usually a sign that pollination worked. We'll see. But I may have my first watermelon grown vertically, maybe. Now, this one was also hand pollinated, and it does not look like it's gonna do anything, but we're gonna see. It hasn't really turned downward, but it has a little bit. We'll see. But that happened, and we'll see we're getting more blossoms. And again, just more blossoms from the squash and the zucchini. Pruning must have helped. So while I was just standing there talking to y'all, and I peeked over here to this tomato plant in this bed, I just happened to notice that it too is fruiting. So it's good stuff. Good stuff. So that means I should be getting more fruit soon. I have been coming out and hand pollinating the female blossoms as I can on this cucumber, but that still is swelling and getting a little bigger. This is the Space Master. If I recall, I hand pollinated that female. Come around here. My son was here with me the other day, and we were just talking about the challenges of me holding my camera, because he is my photography. Yes. So that one got hand pollinated. It does look like it's swelling. I believe I came out and hand pollinated that one. So the fruits of my labor is paying off. Let's check this one, see what it's doing. So this tomato plant, no fruit just yet, but still flowers. So we'll keep an eye on it for the next couple of days. That poinsettia female, I came out and I hand pollinated it yesterday. So this female flower and that male flower opened up at the same time. So I hand pollinated it yesterday. So let's see what happens with it. So this bed, the soaker hose got turned on day before yesterday. I'm going to turn it on today. Just because things are starting to fruit. So we want to make sure that they get water. But if nothing else, I do come out with my hand container and I put a little water under the base there. Alright, so let's check on some of our newer seedlings. Alpha B8. This was the first one that got transplanted. It's still doing good. Right now, not a lot happening up top. Be patient. Don't always look for growth. Remember, there are multiple parts to a plant. Not a lot happening right here, but this stem is thicker. It's stronger. So it's putting its energy in roots and developing into a strong plant so you get better fruit. Let's see what else we can look at. Look how big that pepper plant is getting. I missed the window of being able to show you, but this is a different variety of nasturtium. Kind of a whitish pinkish. It's pretty. But that flower is dying back. And there's another one coming, so hopefully in the next couple of days I can capture one on video. But the calendula is doing good. Calendula is still doing good. My black-eyed peas, they're not looking great, but they're not dying, so we'll see. And again, I put these out really early, before their time. Alright. So one last update. My first borage blossoms. Came out yesterday and I saw one and I was like, yes. So this is what borage looks like when it blossoms. So why borage? Borage is good for putting calcium into the soil and phosphorus. berries need a lot of nutrients, but in my reading, one of the things that they do well with is calcium in terms of developing fruit. So I came out and I harvested yesterday. And what I do is I don't have a lot of berries happening, so when I get them, I just feed them to the man, or I taste them. See here, another berry. That borage is kind of struggling, but this one is not. And so nothing new has really happened with these strawberry plants. It is time for feeding. Well, a little teeny tiny, but nothing major. And yeah, this is the new things. So in my experiment, I actually thought that borage would get tall before that basil got tall, and it didn't. So unfortunately, all of the morning sun that comes in, this basil is blocking that borage. However, on purpose, I planted this borage on this side. And look. So this is basil, and this is borage. Sun is coming in this way. And it's starting to flower, which is good. So let's come over to this basil, because I see one where it looks like it wants to try to flower, and I don't want it to yet. So this is what the top of a basil plant looks like when it wants to flower. These little teeny tiny pods around the top here. That's the attempt to flower. So I'm going to grab that off, because I don't want it to flower. Remember, if the plant thinks it's time to go to flower, it's trying to say, I'm done. I want to go to flower to give you some seeds. If you're not ready for that yet, don't let it bolt. It smells so good. It smells so good. I'm just gonna pop that in there. Alright, so that is my morning update. It's close to 9 a.m., so I feel good. I've gotten up and moved around. Lots of things here to make me happy. More zinnias will start to flower. If you see that one over there, I have to remember I can't put my hand. More zinnia flowers coming. So, more lettuce that can be harvested. That's probably the biggest I've let in. That's a butter lettuce variety. That's the only one that has not been like snipped, just to see how big it gets. Garden life is good, y'all. You know, my son was here with me, my youngest son, and one of the things that he was saying is, Mama, you gotta have a subject. Like, your videos need to have like a subject. You need to have a plan. And I was like, son, I feel you. I feel you. And thank you for giving me that feedback. We have to let the younger generation tell us things. We can learn a lot from them. And one of the things that I said to him is, I'm going to work on having subjects, baby, but for right now, I just want to come out and I want to show people just me, being me, so that people know that it is okay to just be you. You ain't got to put it all together and have it all contrived. You can talk about your failures. and your successes, such as trying to grow parsley from seed at least 7 times and failing and getting one that you didn't think was going to make it, but it's doing it. Just failing and getting better. So that's where I think my anxiety was stemming from, is that last week I put together a couple of plans because I didn't want to get behind on things. When I get behind on work, I'm anxious. Pretty sure I'm going to come and harvest the bottoms of this deal. And anyway, when I get behind, I get anxious. And then I start thinking about how that's going to have implications for the remainder of my week. And then in this moment, I'm realizing that even in that getting behind, in those failures, you learn. I came out a week ago and I looked at this bed and I was like, that is an absolute disaster. When it came to the soaker hose, I was frustrated. And now I'm standing here today and I feel accomplished. Because this is probably better than I've done since I've been gardening. And so I think I'm going to carry that lesson into this week. That you may start things with the greatest of intentions and you may fail. And that's okay. Because when you start things with the greatest of intentions and you fail, but you don't stop, you get fruit. And what's my fruit? And I think that's the lingering question. Is Tarila, in all of these things where you started, you failed, but you didn't give up and stop, what's your fruit? You started Anaheim pepper seeds from seed so many times. No success. This is as far as you've gotten. So what's your fruit? What is your fruit, Tarila? And that's the question sometimes we have to ask ourselves. Did we get some fruit? Is everything about being successful? Because success is good. Like all of this is marks of success. But there are signs of failure as well. Things brown and die back. And things look like they're not gonna come back, but they come back. Just get used to looking at it. And just trust it's gonna come back. Even if it takes a while. What do I mean standing here touching my lemongrass? I was out here for hours getting those roots untangled. I mean, I think it took at least 2 hours to get the roots untangled. It was a while. So that I wouldn't kill them. And I've never transplanted lemongrass. I've actually never even grown lemongrass. And then I put 4 different lemongrass and 4 different elements. This is topsoil, or a combination of topsoil and seed starting mix. This one is more so topsoil than seed starting mix. This one is full seed starting mix. And look at it. And this one is more seed starting mix with some topsoil in it. But I'm looking at the fact that this is a container inside of a container, and so is this one. And they've come back. And so, fruit and failure. failure and fruit. All of this is failure and fruit. And then taking that breath and realizing that my anxiety is good if I lean into it instead of trying to avoid it. So that's my lesson for the week. Where have you failed? And where's the fruit? And if you just hang on a little bit, just hang on. Just hang on. You'll learn that failure is good. The anxiety that comes with failure is good. But there's a lot of fruit that can come along with it. And so now I'll go back to scripture and I'll look for things that talk about fruit and failure, because it's in there. Garden life is good, y'all. It's so, so good. It's so, so good. I had some tension in my chest when I first started this, and I'm breathing and that tightness is gone. That's how good garden life is. It's good. It's so, so good. Go play in the dirt.